Hey, welcome to VLOGMAS Day 12. Today is a fun day. I hope that you have a great day today, and I especially hope that you enjoy this video. We are baking gingerbread cookies in the shape of Mickey Mouse heads. We are doing our puzzle and our verse, and I have a special appearance from my niece Katie. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today for our VLOGMAS, I am going to do some holiday favorite gingerbread cookies. And not just any gingerbread cookie, but Mickey Mouse gingerbread cookies. So I am dressed for the occasion. If you saw our video of doing the food reviews at the Disney's California Adventure Festival of Holidays, we ate a gingerbread cookie there. That was phenomenal. And while I don't have the exact recipe, I went searching for recipes online to find one that I thought would be really good. And I found a few actually, but none of them quite fit all the spice mixtures that I wanted. So I kind of made my own. I took some of the ingredients from different ones and figured, you know, the quarter teaspoon of this isn't going to totally change the consistency of the dough. So I'm going to share that recipe in the description below, as well as a link to that Disney California Adventure video of all the food reviews. I think you'd enjoy that as well. And then of course, watch along as I make this. Mickey Mouse heads aren't required, but as Diana said in some of our videos, everything tastes better when it's shaped like a Mickey head. So, we have this, and this is going to be the magic that is added to my gingerbread cookie. All right, I have all my ingredients out. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Here we have our mixture of spices. This is what's going to make the gingerbread so unique and flavorful. There is ginger and cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, cardamom, kosher salt, and baking soda. Of course, flour. Then some of our wet ingredients are vanilla, molasses, oil, and egg, brown sugar, and then here is what I love about this recipe that I am anticipating. This is browned butter. Now, I made this in the microwave. If you do this, you need to make sure you have a large enough bowl to allow it to bubble up and boil. You don't want it to go over and make a mess in your microwave. You also need to watch it very carefully because there's a fine line between browned butter and burnt butter. And you want to make sure you include in your recipe all those little brown bits. So it's really wonderful. This is about the color of a light coffee, a blonde coffee mix, sort of watery coffee. And with that foam across the top, it almost looks like a coffee at that. We need to make sure we let this cool about 15 minutes or so. You don't want to start assembling your ingredients with this very hot butter. So we need to let it cool down so it doesn't cook the dough when we add the eggs and such. We need it to stay, you know, a dough that will then cook when it bakes. Here we go. The first thing we're going to do is take our cooled brown butter, and we want to make sure to get all of those brown bits. Those are the cooked milk solids, and that's what adds the nutty flavor. It's just so incredible. I love brown butter, and just about anything tastes better with brown butter. All right, next we take the brown sugar and we cream that, mix that well. Okay, you want to make sure you have your Mickey scraper because that makes cooking process all the more fun. Scrape down those sides, make sure that all the sugar crystals are incorporated. I'm going to give this a little bit more time now that I've scraped the sides before we add other items. Okay, we're going to add a half a cup of molasses. I'm not sure what kinds you can find in the stores. but the recipes that I've seen do make sure you get unsulfured. The only ones I saw available were unsulfured, so that may be just all that there is these days. I don't buy molasses very often. Okay, we're gonna put in a teaspoon of vanilla and 2 tablespoons of oil. You would think that the brown butter would be enough fat or oil content. I'm sure that the thicker oil is going to help them to remain soft and not get hard like ones that you would use for building a gingerbread house. And you do have to realize that there are 2 different types of gingerbread recipes, because the ones for a house, while they may be spicy and edible, they become more cracker-like and hard. You don't want them to be soft and bendable, then the house wouldn't stand. So this is more of a soft cookie recipe. And again, 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 large egg. Let's mix all that up. That molasses smells so good. The next thing that we want to do is we want to incorporate our spices into the flour before we add to the mixture. More importantly, what we want to incorporate is the salt and the baking soda. You always want to make sure baking powder, baking soda, and salt are well incorporated into the flour so that it rises properly and doesn't end up with pockets of really odd flavor. And so you want to make sure your dry ingredients are always mixed well. All right, we're going to add that slowly into this mixture. Oh my goodness, the smell of the spices, cloves, cardamom, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. Oh, it's already so fragrant. Okay, this dough is starting to get thicker, so I'm going to take out the whisk attachment and put in the paddle attachment to help it incorporate better. And before I do that, I'm going to scrape the sides. I should say that I'm not a trained chef when I give instructions like that. This is stuff I've just picked up over the years. I'm hardly a master baker or cooker. I just enjoy cooking, and I feel comfortable enough cooking that I can create my own recipes sometimes, or feel free to swap items. I have that kind of comfort, but I'm hardly a fantastic cooker, chef, baker, whatever phrase you want to say. Okay, you can see the dough has congealed and is thickened up like a ball. We're going to have that and portion it out into 2 sections and work with those. We're going to roll it between 2 sheets of parchment paper. I have a stack of pre-cut 12 by 12 parchment paper that I love and I use for the Ninja Foodie oven, and so this is going to be perfect. Okay, I've rolled it out of the bowl and I'm made it into kind of a log here. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I've decided to put it into 3 portions, because I am I'm using smaller baking trays. I'm only doing 12 by 12 because I'm going to bake some in my full-size oven and some in my Ninja Foodie. And the reason for that is because I also make videos on the Ninja Foodie, and so I thought this would be a great way to show how you can do your holiday baking and spread it out over multiple ovens and get more done at the same time. So there's my 3 portions. I will tell you this, one of the great things about doing these cooking videos is because I want to make sure my kitchen looks clean. Everything gets washed between all these different shots. It's nice. Just thought I'd share that little side benefit here. Okay, we're going to roll this out. I'm going to get my rolling pin here in just a minute, but I'm just pressing down here between 2 sheets of parchment paper. We want about a 1/4 inch thick so that we have a nice, decent feeling portion cookie. I need one of those rolling sticks. That would be nice. I feel like this would be the perfect thing for that. Oh, maybe I should have done half. I have a feeling the portions aren't as big as I thought. Okay, well, live and learn. We'll see. Okay, I think that's good. All right, what we're going to do then, and this is a little bit of a pro tip, you want to dip your cookie cutter in some flour so that it doesn't stick to the batter. And then we're going to try to pack as many of these because we're going to put this in the freezer for a few minutes without lifting the uncut portion. And so I don't want to have very much waste. So I'm going to just try to put this in here in such a way to maximize the amount of cookies I get out of this. Here's where your sort of puzzle skills will come into play, and we have been practicing with our advent calendar puzzle, haven't we? So alright, that's not very much waste. I think that will be good. We're going to pop this into freezer for a few minutes to let the dough chill. And when we bring it out, we will pull off that extra. I'll probably shape it into a small cookie, and then we'll put them in to bake. Okay, all 3 trays. It came out with 3 trays, a total of 15 cookies. We're in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to remove the excess dough, and of course not going to waste it. I'm going to make just some round cookies or something. The recipe says it makes about 2 dozen 4-inch cookies, and I have 15 Mickey-shaped cookies, and again, I'm going to get some excess out of here as well. So, and the cool thing about using it on the parchment is that I just put it on the baking sheet and put it in the oven as is. It's just very simple. Got nice crisp sides. Chilling it helps keep it that way. I'll give them a good spacing. Okay, we're placing them in our oven, and they're going to cook for 6 minutes. All right, I'm putting them in our Ninja Foodie toaster oven, and for this I'm only going to bake them 5 minutes at 350 degrees because I think that this oven cooks quicker because the heat's more intensely close to the cookies. They will be done a little bit quicker. The recipe says to cook between 5 and 6 minutes anyway, and so this is what I'm going to try. Okay, they've come out of the oven. They look good. I felt that actually they needed a little more time. My oven tends to run maybe a little cooler, even though I had the temperature up a bit because of that. But I wanted to see that the glistening moisture was off and that there had been a slight puff. You want to take them off the pan so that they can cool. And the instructions that I saw everywhere said because these cookies are soft, as demonstrated there on that tear, because these cookies are soft, You want to make sure they cool completely before you decorate. And here are the cookies that came out of the Ninja Foodie. Don't slide off that tray quite as easily because that's not a fully flat tray. But they all look beautiful, except for the one I just dropped. And I am looking forward to trying these. They smell so good. All right, we're gonna make the glaze for these. I'm not gonna bother measuring because that's probably, I should have bothered measuring. That's way more sugar than I'm gonna need. But the reason I don't need to measure is because I'm just gonna add some water and mix it until it gets to the consistency I want. I keep adding water until it's the creaminess that I want. This can be made with milk or lemon juice, depending on its use for this. Actually that wasn't too much powdered sugar at all. For this, I just want to have the coating of the sugar. You can also, of course, decorate with royal icing, which will harden and is thicker, and you can do colors. But I just want this sweet glaze. Might be just a little thick, but I don't want to add too much water. There we go. And these cookies are still somewhat warm. And since I'm not doing actual decoration with piping and royal icing that I want to hold a shape, I am going to put this on now. They are not really hot, but they still have a little warmth to them, which is going to allow the sugar to spread just a bit. There is nothing going to be neat about this. I'm going to spread it out, let it cover. Be a nice glaze. That is the thing about me. I'm precise on computers and when I'm doing my accounting, but when it comes to anything creative and artistic, I am sloppy and loose. I don't do precise well when it comes to all of that. That's just not my gift mix. And of course, we're going to let this completely cool at this point before eating these, because we want the sugar to congeal a bit more, harden. It's never really going to come truly hard, but it's going to, it's going to be drier. All right, we'll come back with a little bit of a taste test in a little while. While these are cooling, we're going to go ahead and do our Bible verse for today and do our puzzle. And then I have a special treat from one of my nieces who we gave the puzzle to on how they're displaying their puzzles. I think you're going to be very impressed. Before it sets too much, I want to put a few of these little decorative sprinkles on it. Christmas trees. Again, not precise, not measured out. I could never be a true chef. You watch that Top Chef show and they're using tweezers. Yeah, not me. The puzzle for day 12 is way down on the bottom, and who do we have there? We have Chip. How do I know it's Chip? Brown nose. Dale, reddish nose. Pull out our puzzle. And let's get to making it. All right, ski like nobody's watching. Look at that, Goofy's on his skis there, heading down the hill. And in the smallest of type, thank goodness for zoom cameras, it says Goofy's Ski Lessons.
Hi, Uncle Lynn and Auntie Di. Today I'm showing you how we display our Advent calendar puzzles. First, you actually make the puzzle and you put it on our numbered spot. Next, you take your number stand that has the number of the day and you put it on. I'm so excited to see all of them all finished. Well, bye!
All right. Cooking was so much fun. I enjoyed that today, and I enjoyed our puzzle. Right now I'm going to look at our Bible verse for today, and the character in our 25 Days of the Christmas Story book today for day 12 is the manger. A lot of people have no idea what a manger is. You'll recognize this verse, I think. Linus says it in the Charlie Brown Christmas. So even if you're not churched or go to a church, you probably recognize this passage. And so it says, "Then she gave birth to her firstborn son, and she wrapped him tightly in cloth and laid him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them." A manger is the food trough. It's the long wood box that the cows would eat out of, and the sheep, and all the different animals. I used to work with children at our church. I was a children's pastor for a long time, and we had this Christmas curriculum where this funny guy would say on the video, "Moo cow food trough," and that's what Jesus was laid in, was a moo cow food trough. So in any case, the birth of God as man was very humble. And there's a reason for that, is that God wanted him to be approachable, that he came to be for all people, and not just the high and mighty and the wealthy and the privileged, but, he was born in humble circumstances. Okay, before we sign off for today, we've got to do a taste test of these. These came out so good. I am so pleased with them, and I've already had some samples of the other pieces as we were going along, but the glaze set nice, the confetti Christmas tree sprinkles are sticking to the top, and the smell is so good. That brown butter in particular, I mean, seriously, you can smell that brown butter. It just warms everything up. So let's give them a taste. You got to eat the ear off first. So good. That glaze is an important element because not only does it look good, it just gives a frosted, icy, snowy look to them. But gingerbread by its nature, despite the sugar, the brown sugar and such being in here, they really are kind of a savory cookie because of all the spice and the brown butter and such. So the glaze just adds a nice layer of sweetness to it, a good finish at the end of the bite. There are other gingerbread recipes with black pepper and cocoa powder and a different variety of spices, but I landed on the brown butter and the cardamom. Those are just flavors I really love. And I thought that was closest to the Disney one that we had at the California Adventure. I didn't sense that one had a hot spice to it. Rand Floridian uses a recipe with cocoa and black pepper, and but I didn't get the sense that the one at Disneyland did. So give this a shot if you're a gingerbread cookie maker and you want to try this. You'll love it. So I'm glad you joined us today. I hope, as I said in the beginning, that you've enjoyed it, that you're enjoying your lead up to Christmas time, that you are preparing yourself for what the holidays can bring. Strip away those expectations and instead fill it with new experiences and allow things to roll the way they are, and give that a try this holiday season, and I think that you'll have a great time. See you tomorrow.